Hello and welcome to my Blu-ray review of Grudge Match. New release from Warner Brothers, just came out today, Monday the 2nd of June 2014. I'm going to talk about the film itself, what I thought of it, the Blu-ray, how it looks, how it sounds, the special features. But before we get to any of that, let's have a look at the case itself. Okay, so here's the case itself. Really cool, simple front artwork, I think. Just nice and simple, works. Kind of got the old fight feel from the font and everything. De Niro versus Stallone. And you got the two characters there. Maybe a little bit photoshopped and tucked in the stomach a little bit, but that's more or less how they look in the final fight at the end. I don't know who Men's Health are, but I'm sure the 5-star rating isn't much to go by. I like that you can see their names, their nicknames, Razor and Kid. Of course, this is a Blu-ray and digital ultraviolet copy release. Watch it anywhere. I don't like these banners, but you know, it is what it is. Here's the spine. Nice and simple. This is rated 12. And here's the back. It's Rocky versus Raging Bull, which of course everyone makes a comparison to. Brief blurb on the film itself, the special features that are included, although it doesn't list all of them. And then of course digital ultraviolet copy, UV code, instantly stream and download the film onto your computer, tablet or smartphone. You know, I'm not too much of a kind of digital copy guy, but it's cool that they include these on, you know, these releases. And this is a 1080p high definition transfer, obviously, 16:9 DTS HD master audio, 5.1 Dolby Digital, and it also has French, Latin, Spanish, English audio descriptive service, and subtitles in English, French, and Latin Spanish. It is a region-free Blu-ray, I believe. I can't see where it says, but Warner Brothers are always region-free. And the film's 113 minutes long. So let's open this up. So you have the disc there. Got a nice effect to it because it's there's no color on there. I don't know, I like it. It's a simple effect and it's cool. And then we have the digital copy here. Nice quality paper, and here's the code. Yeah, included with the purchase. Add to your digital collection. So there you go. There is the package for Grudge Match. So there you go. Nothing too spectacular with the packaging, but the movie itself was that spectacular. Well, I was concerned because there's a lot of hype surrounding this movie when it first kind of was announced, and I was really excited about it. Then the reviews came in, and it wasn't sounding too good, and I skipped it in the cinema. Decided to wait for the Blu-ray, and yeah, based on the mediocre reviews, I wasn't expecting much. So for me, Grudge Match far exceeded my expectations, and I absolutely loved it. It's really just, I guess, the kind of novelty of seeing Sylvester Stallone, who of course played Rocky in the Rocky movies, and Robert De Niro, who played Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. You know, the first Rocky and Raging Bull are arguably the two best boxing movies ever made, and you know, definitely the two most famous boxing movies ever made. So this really is a dream match more than a grudge match for film fans, I think. I don't know why it didn't catch on more than it did. It's just a lot of fun. It's a comedy, you know, and people can say, oh, you know, they're too old for it, they're past it, what are they doing getting into the ring, you know, in a film like this? And I think, well, that's kind of the point, you know. It's a comedy, it's supposed to be funny, the fact that they're this old, and you know, that they play it really well, and the chemistry was fantastic between the two. The comedic timing was brilliant. They improvised on set, and I think it really showed and was a lot more natural, and their rivalry was just really fun to see because basically Sylvester Stallone's character, who's his nickname's Razor, and he's known as Razor throughout the film, and De Niro's character's nickname is the Kid, as his first name's Billy, so he's just known as Kid throughout the whole film, even by his son and his grandson. So Kid and Razor, they had this huge rivalry in the early 80s, and the film opens with this fantastic sequence which does use a lot of kind of CGI to kind of make their faces look younger, and actually there's some trickery going on there, but I think it worked really well because it was done in kind of archive footage made to look old, and it just kind of, you could tell it was done CGI, but it was just fun, you know. You can't look at it and go like, oh, that wasn't perfect, oh, that was CGI. It was fun, it was cool, you know, and it was just retro, and it really gave you a cool sense of what it might have looked like to see Rocky and Jake LaMotta have a boxing match, you know, because they really look like they did back then, kind of thing. And even like archival images of, you know, De Niro when he was younger and Stallone when he was actually playing Rocky in the Rocky movie. So that was awesome. I loved all that early stuff. The introduction was fantastic. And then, of course, they had these two big matches. The first one was a classic, and, you know, who was it? De Niro's character won at the end. So they had a rematch, but Stallone's character won very decisively, even more decisively than the first match. And it was because De Niro's character, Kid, wasn't ready. And Razor knew that, and so he knew it wasn't a fair fight, but he beat him anyway, and then he retired from boxing to, you know, escape kind of the rubber match, which is, you know, 1-on-1 to kind of settle the score. And so for 30 years, you know, the score has never been settled, and it's been brought up on the news again, you know, well, remember this classic rivalry. And so Kevin Hart, who plays this kind of up and coming promoter in the film, he gets in touch with Razor and he's like, come on man, you got to do this video game, you know, it'll put you and Kid in the game and people can kind of live out what it's going to be like. And this was very kind of derivative of the opening of Rocky Balboa, I thought, but and a lot of the film is derivative, you know. Is it derivative? Yes. Does it break new ground? No, not at all, but it's just fun, you know. And of course, you know, Stallone begrudgingly agrees to do this video game stuff because he needs the money, whereas the Kid is more well off and he doesn't really need the money, but he wants to fight. Kid wants to fight Razor. He really wants to prove to everyone that he wasn't ready for that fight that he lost, and Razor just doesn't want to do it. And it all goes back to Kim Basinger, who turns up in the film about, I don't know, maybe in the second act. And I thought, oh, Kim Basinger, I'm not really a big fan of her acting, but I really liked her in the film. As the film progressed, I really liked her character, I liked her acting, and I liked the way her character played into everything, because it was between their history of those two guys. And it was a good story. I really liked the story. You know, John Bernthal turns up as Kid's son, who he may or may not have known that he had, called BJ, and he has a son as well, who's now, you know, Kid's got a grandson, and it's a very tumultuous relationship they have. Begrudgingly, you know, BJ starts to train Kid for the fight, and Stallone's Razor actually goes back to his old trainer, who was like living in a home, and he brings him to live with him and train him again, and it's played by Alan Arkin. Just what a legend. The supporting cast in this film is fantastic, and Alan Arkin, who's a great actor, but he's a great comedic actor as well, and he was just so funny in the film. It was brilliant, and they could have easily gone down the route of the Mickey character from Rocky, but they did something completely different, and he was a different older trainer that worked really well, though there was one scene towards the end which was very similar to a scene between Rocky and Mickey in the second film. The second Rocky movie, and it's kind of derivative at times, but you can't really avoid that with all the emotional and you know, the years of baggage that you have from watching all of those Rocky movies, from watching Raging Bull and seeing these two characters in similar situations. So you just got to kind of go with it, I guess. There's a few unrealistic things in it, apart from obviously the fact they wouldn't let two guys in their mid-60s have a big fight on HBO, which they did, by the way. I like the realism of the fight. You know, it's on HBO, had like all the announcers and everything. That was really cool. But you know, there's a few unrealistic things in it, but you just gotta kind of brush it off. There's 2 or 3 jokes in it. I was like, really, a fart joke? You know, wasn't really impressed with that. But the rest of the film was funny. I enjoyed it. It was just a great blast. Awesome. Really, really liked it. Kevin Hart's character was kind of borderline racist stereotype, but you know, it was funny, and you know, it wasn't too abrasive, I don't think. But yeah, I love the supporting cast, and the 2 main guys here, Stallone and De Niro, just did a great job, and you can tell they're having a lot of fun as well, so it just really showed on screen, and I loved it. Now, the Blu-ray itself looked brilliant. I thought it was great, especially like the earlier, you know, stock footage and stuff looked really cool, the way they put effects in it and stuff. Sounded great as well, good soundtrack, and again, I'm no audiophile or you know, visual kind of. I don't really know that much, but for me, the visual and the audio looked fantastic on this Blu-ray. The special features were really great because they were all about 3 minutes long, mostly, so you could really just blast through all of them and enjoy all the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff without kind of spending too much time on it. I think they kind of did the perfect amount of special features on this release. We have more hilarious moments with Kevin Hart. We have In the Ring with Kevin Hart, which is just like people talking about his involvement in the movie and stuff like that, and him talking about how he felt to be in the film. Kevin Hart unedited, you see a lot of his improvisation and his wisecracking and his fast talking on set when he's kind of just throwing jokes out there and stuff, and you can tell that Alan Arkin was getting a bit annoyed by him at times. They have a great kind of chemistry in the film for the few brief scenes they have together as well. Legend of the Ring, featuring, well, I'm going to leave this one because it spoils a cameo at the very end of the film, kind of like a mid-credit scene cameo, and I thought it was an epic cameo. I was like, wow, that was really cool. Like, I was like, that was awesome. Like, for boxing fans, so I won't spoil it, but there's kind of a special feature involving these two, I'll say former boxing legends who had a big heated rivalry of their own, you know, for real, and they appear at the end of the film, and so there's kind of a special feature of them two talking about the events of the film and stuff, and it's a cool little feature. Blow by Blow with Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes did a kind of a cameo in the film. I don't think it was in the final cut. It's in the deleted scenes, I think, or the alternate opening. And he just talks to, you know, he gets interviewed on the set and just talks about when he fought Muhammad Ali, when he beat him. I'm not sure when it was, but interesting story. We have an alternate opening to the film, which shows you how they did some of the early stuff with, like, you know, the younger Stallone, the younger De Niro, and John Bernthal actually stood in for the younger De Niro in those scenes and had like the dots on his face and stuff. And they showed you where they put the effects over and what bits they hadn't used and hadn't wasted money on putting special effects into until they had the whole cut down. Good alternate opening, I enjoyed it. And then we had two alternate endings. Basically, the outcome of the big fight, the grudge match. Who wins? Well, I won't tell you who wins, but you know, one of them wins. I'll say that at least. I'll spoil that. Someone wins, and you get the you know, the ending of if the other guy wins, or if you get the ending if they drew. And they kind of filmed the other two just to kind of protect themselves, so that the ending wouldn't leak, I guess, because you can tell they haven't fully, you know, done everything to it. So it's interesting to see. I actually really liked the one of the alternate endings. It had a really funny kind of ending line, which I thought would have been just a really funny ending. But I'm happy with the ending that's in the film, and I think it's the right one to go with. It actually had me emotionally invested in it towards the end as well. I really didn't think it was going to grab me emotionally, but it did. Maybe not as much as a Rocky or a Raging Bull, but it really did grab me. And I wasn't just rooting for Stallone, who was the natural protagonist of the story. I was rooting for De Niro kind of as well. It's like a 40-60, because, you know, you get to see how sympathetic the character of Razor is, but you also get to see how much redemption there is to be found in the character of Kid, and you want that redemption as well as you want the, you know, the triumph for Razor. So it was a really interesting dichotomy of these two characters having to fight at the end and who you're rooting for and everything. And I think that's why I really liked it as well. It surprised me with that. There's deleted scenes, about 6 minutes long, and the director, Peter Segal, he actually did like introductions to almost all the special features, and he was really kind of funny as well, I thought. And he introduces, you know, why this was an alternate opening, why this was an alternate ending, and the deleted scenes he introduces as well. And there's a couple of cool ones, but you can see why they didn't make the final cut. Nothing too spectacular. About 6 minutes worth of deleted scenes, and then there's also a 15-minute featurette, which isn't listed on the back of the Blu-ray, so I forget what it was called, but it was a really good little featurette that really focused on Stallone and De Niro and their training and how they choreographed the fight and how they didn't use any stunt doubles for that the final, you know, the big fight at the end, and how they worked out all the moves and stuff, and, you know, how when they were filming it, Stallone was saying to De Niro, "Come on, just hit me," and really great behind-the-scenes stuff. Fantastic little 15-minute featurette. Loved it. So for me, the special features were just perfect for this film. Yeah, just not too much, but not too little, just the right amount. Would be cool to see an audio commentary, but otherwise, brilliant. So, for me, my final rating for Grudge Match as a Blu-ray, I give it like a 4.5. And that's a really high rating, but for me, I just really love this film, and it's going to have a lot of replay value for me. It was just a lot of fun, and it's got some cool special features that you can just check out really quickly. And yeah, I just really love this film. So there you go, it's my review of Grudge Match. Hope you enjoyed. This is about my 56th time filming this video. I might even upload a whole video of my outtakes, because this took a long time to get to the end of, let me tell you. But there you go, Grudge Match. Go check it out. It's a fantastic little film. Just don't kind of expect too much, you know, in the ways of being a really great film. Just, you know that it's going to be a fun ride, and just, yeah, a good entertaining movie.
He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool. Even though I'm sure he's a quite nice guy, really. He's a quite nice guy, really.